Hello, Vitor. I, I'm very happy to see you again. Uh, at the moment, this begin the project, the Adriele Evelyn. Evelyn,
Hello, Professor. You can hear me?
yes,
Yes.
Okay. So can I start it?
yes,
Okay. Okay. I need to see the camera. So, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Andriele, and I'm a graduate student of the master's program here at the university. And my advisor is Professor Mario André. And I'm also in the first line of research here, and the process and dimensions of music education, musical training. I think that's the right translation. And I would like to present you my pre-project. Is the project that I made to enter the master's program. So it's a unfinished project, and it also can change. But right now, this is what I have. So, the title of my project is Forgotten Trajectories. Is historical reconstruction and analysis of the teaching practices of women guitar teachers at EMUFRN. So this theme came to me as a personal interest of mine because I have very few women guitar teachers in my life. And when I was thinking about this project, I come out with some questions, and those questions are: how many women guitar teachers have worked at the institution throughout its more than 6 years of existence? And were there institutional and cultural obstacles encountered in their trajectories? If so, which ones? And also, I found out that this area of research is increasing a lot in numbers. Like we have a significant growth over the years, like from the 19th to the 2021, the growth is very significant. As you can see here, it's based on several research like Zerbinat, Nogueira, and Pedro, also Silva, and also Andretta and Igara Souza. They all corroborate this view. And we have here a very interesting quote from Silva that I found nice to just make a resume about this growth. That is the increase in the number of studies and initiatives on the topic music education and gender in recent years further commits us to engage with this theme, since as music education is a social field, the category of gender is a variable that must be considered and discussed. And also, I found some very interesting things, and we actually don't have a lot of works, a lot of research here in the university, in the School of Music, about this theme. The one paper that I found is the master's dissertation of Mota in 2020, and this is the only one that I found. So it's a field that grows, but it also is something that the School of Music, I think, is not continue the works of this growth. I don't know if I don't know if I don't know if oh, sorry about that. So the main objectives of my research that I want to make is that I want to investigate the trajectory of women guitar professors at the EMUFRN, or musical school, from its foundation in 1962 to 2025. And My specific objectives are to identify the first women guitar professors at our school and their trajectories, ascertain the proportion of active women professors in the institution's guitar courses. We have two courses, the bachelor's and technical courses. And so I want to research the professors um, that made classes that they teach in those courses. And I also want to understand the interviewer's perception regarding the absence or presence of women professors in teaching the instrument. So I'd like to present my theoretical framework and also my literature review. So if I want to discuss this theme, I also have to discuss gender and also women universities and women in music in specific. In gender studies, I found two authors that come out with the view that I want to defend. There is gender is a social and cultural construction, and they also say that it's binary and static and limited to social roles and expectations. And also, I have to discuss women universities since we are researching uh, women professors, teachers in universities. So we have these two authors that discuss about this in our more historical way, like Smith, and also our constitution that I really think it is important to put in this research. And women in music, we have two authors here that I just condensed in one point of view. Lucy Green, she will say more about women in music in general. And Rekova, this Brazilian author, she will discuss women in the performance of women guitar teachers. And they both say that we have this limitation on the performance because they are women in this both in this true research. So my literature review on the current state of research regarding the career paths of women in gender studies, I found three authors that are more or less related to my theme, and those are Mota from 2020 and 2022, her master's dissertation and her doctoral thesis, and Wenning. She aims to explore how four Porto Alegre-based music teachers in basic education perceive and experience gender and sexuality diversity in their teaching practices, and also Rekova, that I talked about earlier. She will research about four women guitar professors from Brazilian federal universities, and she will explore their life narratives and insights on the guitar world, music, and gender. So I aim to do this by a qualitative method, by exploratory nature, and also documental research. The documental research is very important here because it's the basis of my first stage of this research is the documentary survey in the institutional archives of our music school. So with this research, I want to identify women professors who have worked in the guitar courses over the years from 1962 to 2025. So more than 60 years of documents that I have to research. And by that, I will have to consult some documents like administrative records, meeting minutes, pedagogical projects, and etc., etc. And the second stage of my research is the semi-structured interviews. And those interviews, I will have to prioritize my an active and intentional listening to the professors, considering their experience throughout the analytical framework, encompassing gender, retention, and musical teacher training. And also the number of professors that I will be interviewing will be determined by the documentary analysis, the first stage of this research. And also the interviews will be auto-recorded and transcribed, and their participation will be voluntary. They will sign a consent form for this. And I will do the triangulation of the interview data with other documents also. So just to conclude, to sum it up everything, my main goal is to investigate the trajectory of women guitar professors at EMFRN Music School of Music, from its foundation to 2025. I will do that by doing interviews with women guitar teachers and cross-reference their perspective with literature. And I think this work it will be important for the history of our institution and also to support debates in this area. Those are my references. And that's it. Thank you all for the attention. And also thank you, Professors Gian and Professor Funk, to listen about my work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adriele. Vitor, you can comment for 15 minutes on each paper, okay?
Okay, okay. Well, first of all, thank you so much for sharing your work. I really like how you organize your presentation. Each part is very clear. And I just have a question about what do you mean by trajectory? The trajectory of the teachers. Can you explain a little bit more about trajectory?
So, professors, by trajectory, I mean I want to know everything about the first time they started to learn the guitar and the first time they learn about music and how this may or may not uh, have gender in this entire this entire trajectory. I don't know if you understood what I mean.
Mhm.
Like I want to know since the day they think that is important in their life, like uh, since they were a teenager or since they were a kid or since they just started the teaching in the universities. I want to know how their lives are are. Sorry, I want
Yeah,
to remember the word.
you mean the life path?
Yes.
Yeah, because trajectory, my understanding is that it is like projecting to the future. So, as I understand, your study is about historical. So that is in the past already. So rather than trajectory, maybe the development or the life path that leads up to the point when they become a teacher.
So yeah. I want to exactly. I want to know about actually their past.
Yeah, yeah, the life path. That means they already have gone through that.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. That is much helpful. So your project is using different methods to look at the history of the people, specifically the female guitar teachers.
Yes. Exactly.
That's very good, and I hope you can be able to do it with smoothly and yeah. Do you need to get approval to do the project here?
So the approval. Sorry, the microphone here was on. So the approval actually was made on the first time I actually entered. This was the project I made to enter the program, the master's program. But this can also change. The subject can also change, and the theme can also change. And I actually have a question for you, if you can answer about this.
Okay.
So I want to know about the ethics thing about this project because I know the just one teacher that have worked here in the institution as a professor, a substitute professor, and I don't know if she's willing to talk to me about this because it may have been experience that was not very good since she was the only one here. And there's this ethical thing that I was thinking about, and this can change my entire project, and I want to know if maybe I can interview her and do a research about her life specifically, or if I may change the theme that I'm very, I can also do that. It's not a problem for me, but I really want to know to you about this ethical thing that I have in my mind right now.
Yeah, that is a very good question, also very tricky question, because you are dealing with a small number of female.
You can now try to talk.
Yeah, I still hear the echo. Is that okay now?
Yeah, it's okay.
Oops. Is that okay now? Okay. I don't hear the echo now. Thank you. Yeah, this is a good question and also a very tricky question, because you are dealing with a small number of women teachers of the guitar. And I wonder, how many have you identified so far?
I identified only one.
Oh, only one. Yeah, the thing is that if she is not willing or she feels uncomfortable, then you should not include her. Well, there's another way to get around. If she's willing to be interviewed, to participate in the study, but she doesn't want to be identified, right? If that's the case, what you can consider is to anonymize the study, meaning that you don't say that this is from your university here. Maybe you can just say from a university in Brazil, which people would not know which university. And then you can also say the name is, you make up a different name so that people would not know who exactly is this person. But some people can guess, since you are at this university, UFRN, then they may guess the teacher is from UFRN. But then you never say that in the document. You just say that a women guitar teacher in Brazil, or you can even hide the identity by saying from southern Brazil, because that's not true. But then people would to distract the readers to try to guess, who this person is. I don't know whether this is an acceptable practice in Brazil to do that, because you only have dealing with one person. And if you say that it's UFRN, guitar teacher, female, then many people would know who this person is. So that's why you need to take some measures to hide the identity of this person. And then some of the irrelevant facts you can change, like the name of the university or the location. These are irrelevant to whether she's a female teacher. And also even her name and some other life aspects that you can change without influencing the outcome of the research.
Okay, thank you, Professor. I noted everything here. Thank you.
But you have to check with your university whether this is an acceptable practice. I don't know about UFRN, but at my university, there's a body we call IRB, who would check this privacy and confidentiality and participants' rights and that kind of thing. And that's why I asked you earlier whether this is approved. And then at UFRN, I don't know who is the person or the organization that approved your study.
Okay. So it was approved exactly because I said in in the project that we will find out first who are the professors. So I entered here, I found out that there's only one, and that was it. So I think that maybe I can change the subject of my theme. I also thought about thinking about in a more historical way about studying like the disciplines here, the history of music disciplines here. So yeah, I think I can also change the university name. I think
No,
that that's
another suggestion is that you should go to other universities too. So you can say you are studying 5 universities, and then you change all the university names, and then the teacher's name also you don't disclose the name of the teacher, and then you can change these details, but you study not just one university. Then it will actually strengthen your study if you study a few universities rather than just one.
well. I can do that, but there's already a work that talked about this. The work of Hekova here. She studied like teachers, 4 women guitar teachers in the universities, and I think that I will do the same. Like if I do that, so I don't know. I don't know if I.
Well, if someone has already done the study with a few universities, then why do you want to do it your own?
So because the history of our institution, I wanted to contribute about the history of this institution here because we don't have any register about that.
Yes, another approach is that you can go ahead and ask the teacher, the one teacher, if she feels comfortable disclosing her name and telling her story. And if she feels comfortable, then you don't have to hide anything, and she's okay to disclose. But if she feels uncomfortable, that's when you need to take some measures to change the names of the university, name of the person, and other personal details you can change.
Okay, so go talk to her first.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for answering my questions.
Sure.
Ok, Adriele?
Certo, professor?
I think the next paper is my advisor. Yes, Mari? Okay. Okay, Isabel.
Hello.
Hi.
Can I start?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, hello, my name is Isabelle Cardoso, and today I will present my pre-research project. The title is Motivation of Music Students in Practical and theoretical disciplines. I stood in the light of self-determination theory. My advisor is Professor Dr. Jean Ribeiro. Se alguém quiser acompanhar em português, eu coloquei aqui o QR Code, né, no cantinho. Então, quem quiser acompanhar em português, pode colocar o QR Code. So I have a script here because my English is not very fluent. First, I would like to introduce myself. I have a degree in music education from the Federal University of Piauí, UFPI. I'm a pianist and I work as an instrument teacher. I work in specific music schools and with children's music education in elementary school. Since my graduation, I have been participating in research initiation projects. I started my master's degree this semester here, and I'm linked to Line 1 in the area of music education, and now I'm a member of GRUMS. So the introduction. This presentation is about my pre-research project, and it's the field of music education and music psychology. The focus is about motivational aspects of students in undergraduate music program, and my interest in this topic arose during my undergraduate studies, where I developed my final project entitled, Why Do I Go to the Universe? I studied on the quality of motivation of undergraduate music students at UFPI. So, based on my undergraduate research and the other students, like Santos Cerneve, there is evidence that students' motivation may be lower in theoretical subjects and higher in practical subjects. From this, the question of my present research arises, which is, how does the motivation of your undergraduate music students manifest in practical and theoretical disciplines? So when I say practical disciplines, initially I'm thinking about instrument disciplines. And when I say theoretical disciplines, I'm thinking about music theory. So presenting a brief literature review, there are many studies that discusses motivation in the musical learning process. There are studies that focus on motivation in musical learning with elementary school students, like the works of Kingsford Smith and Evans, Menezes Ribeiro, Ribeiro Silva, and Chet. There is also research that discusses students' motivation in higher education, like the works of Araújo, Cavalcante, Figueiredo, Dantas, Palheiros, Ribeiro, Silva, Araújo, Oliveira, Lemos, Santos Cerneve, Cardoso Figueiredo. And there are works that focus on motivation to learn a musical instrument, like Batiste, Araújo, Veloso, Araújo, Coimbra, and Chet. There are research that focus on the actions on teachers' actions in relation to their students' motivation, like the works of Figueiredo and Figueiredo Moreira. Now, talk a little about the theoretical framework that I would like to use in my research. Self-determination theory, SDT, or in Portuguese, Teoria da Autodeterminação, is based on the works of authors Edward Dess and Richard Ryan. SDT is a macro theory that encompasses other mini theories, and the organism integration theory is one of the mini theories and focuses on aspects of intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. So why do I want to use this theory? It's because it's very important to understand different types of extrinsic motivation, because in the teaching and the learning process, students are not always motivated by intrinsic motivation. Now, my objectives. The general objective is to understand the motivation of music undergraduates in practical and theoretical disciplines. And the specific objectives are identify the predominant types of motivation among undergraduate students in practical and theoretical disciplines, analyze the possible similarities or difference in undergraduate students' motivation across both types of disciplines, and identify the factors that influence undergraduate students' motivation across both disciplines contexts. So about the methodology, I think about a mixed approach with two phases. The first, quantitative, and the second, qualitative. About the quantitative phase, I tend to use the survey method. Gia explains that there is a request for information from a significant group of people about the problem to be studied. And I tend to use a questionnaire as a data collection technique, as allows me to reach a larger number of participants. The questionnaire can have open and closed questions with adaptation of the academic motivation scale. About the qualitative phase, I tend to use the multiple case study method, as it contributes to the understanding of individual or organization phenomena. It seeks to clarify decisions made, their reasons, and the outcomes. It preserves the holistic and meaningful characteristics of events with a real-life context. As a data collection technique, I tend to conduct semi-structured interviews. The participants will be selected based on criteria, and the observation will be adopted as a complementary technique to interviews, aiming to capture elements and interactions that take place in classes and that can contribute to understand the motivation of undergraduate students in practical and theoretical disciplines. As a final considerations, I point out that you understand and reflecting on how the motivation of music undergraduates manifests itself in practical and theoretical disciplines is essential to guide a good pedagogical practice. In my master's program, I seek to expand my research, deepen my understanding of motivation in music learning and its implications for students in higher education. So these are my reference. And thank you for the attention.
Congratulations, Isabelle. It's very good. Okay, Vince.
Are you expecting me to comment?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if other people also want to comment. But anyway, let me start here. I think, again, this is a very well-organized presentation, and that's very good, very clear. The question I have is, when you do the quantitative, the survey, what kind of survey are you going to give?
I don't think about this so profoundly. profundo. Deep is, yeah, okay. I don't think about this so deep, so I don't think about it so deep. So it's my pre-research project. So I'm thinking about it with my advisor. I want to use the questionnaire because I can sorry. So, because I can serve a larger number of participants, but the kind exactly about the survey is not defining.
I see. Well, I suggest that you look into the literature because other researchers have probably developed a survey that you can borrow. So you may not need to come up with your own survey. Can you hear me well? Okay, good. Yeah, another area of question I have is the mixed methods. And do you plan to do the survey first or interview first? Do you have any idea which one should go first?
I think first I do the questionnaire, and before I do the interviews with grupo menor de pessoas. Because the questionnaire is with a lot of students, and the interview is a small group. So first is questionnaire because I can do with a lot of students, and before this I can do the interviews.
Then how do you choose who to interview?
Not yet.
Yeah, so do you mean interview different people or do you interview the same people who filled out the survey?
I think about different people because I have a criteria, and based on these criteria, I can take, for example, 4 students with different experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because for mixed methods research, there's a range of designs. Whether you do one first and then the other, there's a book that you might want to look up. Is Creswell and Plano Clark. So I'm typing the names of the 2 authors of the book about mixed methods research design that you might want to take a look. They have, I think, 6 different types of mixed methods design. And depending on the order and your goal and what you try to achieve, it sounds like what you want to do is the explanatory design, explanatory mixed methods design. I'm typing it up, explanatory. Yeah, so this is one of the types of research design. And then you said earlier that you want to interview different people. Actually, what I would suggest is to interview the same people who filled out the survey. This is how you can get the story behind the survey results. Because the survey, you cannot interview so many people, and then you have to choose the ones who have submitted the survey and then you interview them so you can get some explanation of why they respond to the survey that they submitted. So that's why this name is called explanatory. It's explaining the results of the survey.
Okay, I understand and I appreciate your recommendations.
Sure, sure.
One more question.
Okay. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
Next paper from Beethoven.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I enjoy learning about the projects of the students.
Yes.
How many students are presenting tonight? 4, okay.
Ok.
Eu acho que esse é o antigo, professor, não é o que eu mandei hoje, não. Ó. Eu mandei o link. Foi, hoje. Tirar, sair aqui do.
Eu marquei lá no Grumos o último slide.
Sim, ótimo. Legal.
Tá. Hi, Victor. Just a minute. Just to change your paper. Okay.
I don't know how to speak English, but here we go. My name is Francisco Beethoven. My division, Professor Dr. Tiago de Quadros Maia de Carvalho. My residence in music education and popular culture, articulating music teaching in public elementary school light in heritage education. Só um minuto que eu coloquei, fiz roteiro aqui. Introduction. My research focus on the group combos de combate and intangible cultural heritage of São Gonçalo do Amarante, Rio Grande do Norte. It emphasizes the appreciation of cultural identity, African ancestry, and the transmission of popular knowledge to music, community life, and critical reflection. At the center of the study is the design and application of the teaching sequence for ninth grade student at the Romulo Vanderlei State School. These sequences seek to develop rhythm and melodic skills, explore the history and the meaning of the Congo de Combat, promote collective musical practices, and encourage the valorization of local identity and memory. So from the very beginning, the research combined practical integration in school with the production on contextualized knowledge in line with the principles of actation research. The problem: school music education, however, still shows little connection with local cultures. There is often a distance between school and community, which risks make memories and ancestry invisible in the classroom. This is precisely why the teaching sequence in proposed to bridge this gap. Pass, please. Bibliography review. The study is supported by a normative and historical framework, legislation, and institutional documents that legitimize heritage education, and the cognition of cultural practice as part of our national heritage. These elements give theoretical and legal support for working right Congo de Combat inside the school. Literature review. The academic literature helps situate the description, Santana and do Carmo, preservation and intangible heritage and cultural policies. Interdisciplinary and curriculum integration. Queiroz and Pena, the role of music education and popular culture and constituting identities. Gurgel, Dantas, and Lins, Afro-Brazilian traditions or oral creation and collective memory. Tivinhos, a talent, and Silva, a methodologies appropriate for action research. The reference shows that the proposal aligns with consolidated debates in both music education and heritage education. The opportunity, it opens an important opportunity to use popular culture as a pedagogical tool to promote music and experience of identity and belonging, and to position the school and guardian of intangible heritage. This reinforces the practical role of the teacher sequence in education strategy. Object of estudo, combos de combate. The combos de combate are a municipal intangible cultural heritage and Afro-Brazilian tradition reinterpreted in school contexts, a practice passed down to teachers and families. This tradition becomes a bridge between ancestry, community, and school learning. Theoretic, please. Theoretical foundations. The project is released on their main perspectives: music education in dialogue, right students, cultures, heritage education as tool for socialization of knowledge. Popular culture is a symbol of identity and resistance. There's theoretical lens justify why Congo de Combat can and should be in the classroom. Methodology. The methodological approach in action research, it includes documentary and sound surveys, interviews, white teachers, and community play, participant observation, and active engagement. This means that the research is not only about observing, but as about intervening, and generating new close together with the community. Partial results. So far, the research has produced historical overview of intangible heritage, the legal and pedagogical dimensions of Congos de Combat, a reading of its African ancestry and cultural representation, and an analysis of its musical, suas dança, oralite, rhythm, religiosity, and symbolic communication. The results already point to strong pedagogical possibilities from the classroom. Pedagogical dimensions. The teaching sequence is structured around identity and belonging, curricular interdisciplinarity, aesthetic and performance experiences, school community relationships, and cultural ethics. These show how Congo de Combat can impact not only music learning, but also student sense of citizenship. Expected in practice, the projects allows for students to recognize themselves and cultural subjectives, strengthening the collective memory of the community, contribute to the safeguarding of intangible heritage, and develop as critical and participatory citizens. These other roles, it's not only about music, it's about forming subjects connected to the history. Current stage and next steps. At this point, this session in the phase on systematizing theoretical and documentary study and intangible heritage with emphasis of Congo de Combat. The Next step will to implement the teacher sequence no 9th grade and the preparatory analytical report and final product. This closer make and create that the realization advancing from theoretical consideration to practical application. Yes. É isso. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. And it's good that it is already ongoing. So you have done some work already. Is that correct? And then can you clarify which part have you not done yet? Jian, your microphone is muted.
A application da didática sequência. Aí,
Beethoven, Vitor, just a minute. Beethoven, ele está perguntando a você qual a parte que você já fez da pesquisa. Você pode até dizer que iniciou o projeto agora, você pode dizer em que fase está, ok?
History legal documents. Já levantei isso aqui, como é que eu digo? Document research, né? As observation the group combos de combate em várias situações, como é que eu falei? And situations. O que falta é a sequência didática. Eu aplicar a sequência didática. Como é que eu falo em inglês? I didn't apply sequência didática.
Sequência de teaching practice. Okay, Vitor?
The teaching part. So that means all the literature and the documents you have done, but you have not actually collected data in the classroom?
Ele está perguntando sobre as coletas de dados. Eu acredito, Beto, você entrou esse ano, só para me lembrar. Ele entrou esse ano, foi Mário? Ele está querendo saber se você já fez a coleta de dados. Foi a pergunta que ele disse.
Ainda completamente não.
Em parte, Vitor.
O resultado da researches não foi not complete.
It's not possible.
Ainda não foi completada. O resultado da aplicação didática ainda não foi completada, né? Ainda eu já aprontei a sequência, mas ainda não apliquei na escola, aí para poder tirar os resultados daí, né?
It's still being worked, Victor. Yet, okay?
So let me switch to another question about action research. You said that you are going to do action research. What kind of a problem are you trying to solve in the action research?
O que eu quero levar é transformar a tradição, a cultura tradicional, para o ensino de música, levar isso para a escola. Como é que eu posso dizer? Esses tipos de movimentos culturais, ele tem um hibridismo nas artes, são artes misturadas. Não é apenas só música, artes visuais, teatro, dança e a música, né? Estou querendo transformar isso para uma aula de arte e música na escola.
Beethoven, a última pergunta que ele fez, ele queria saber se, para além desses dados que você mostrou, se você vai pegar dados extras, fazer outras coletas de dados, para além dessa que você mostrou.
A partir da aplicação da sequência didática na escola, que eu vou ver o resultado, né? De como foi a pesquisa. Não está certo. O seu microfone está desligado.
Vitor, this work for the children is no finish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand it's not finished or not done. Yeah, so my last question was about action research. And what problems do you anticipate solving by doing the research? Because action research is aiming at solving a problem.
Beethoven, ele queria saber, você pode falar devagar, eu tento repetir para ele, mas ele queria saber quais foram os problemas, né, que você encontrou no campo para realizar a pesquisa, quais os problemas você conseguiu antecipar para solucioná-los.
Então, eu tive um fácil acesso a esse grupo de cultura popular, porque o mestre é meu amigo, né, my friend, o mestre do grupo, né? Então, o problema assim, de chegar na comunidade e começar a ter uma relação interpessoal com eles, acompanhar eles em algumas apresentações, isso já foi possível, né? E agora eu já combinei com eles de levarem eles para a escola, né, para conhecer os alunos e depois levar os alunos numa festa tradicional que eles fazem lá todo ano, no dia 25 de outubro, que é o dia de São Sebastião, né? Eu falei da questão da religiosidade, está muito presente nessa tradição afro-brasileira, né?
Da próxima vez, só mais um pouco, viu?
Outro problema foi a questão do patrimônio, né? do que se é das leis que regem o patrimônio a nível municipal, estadual e federal, né? Que aí eu fui buscar a documentação tanto no município de São Gonçalo, como as leis estaduais, como as leis federais, para embasar a questão do patrimônio, da educação patrimonial, né? A documentação. Isso aí foi um desafio que eu tive que ir em loco na Assembleia Legislativa, na Câmara dos Vereadores, e, assim, foi um desafio em tanto, mas o texto dessa parte aí já está bem completo.
Pronto, então deixa eu tentar aqui organizar. Você falou muito, devia ter falado menos, mas deixa eu tentar aqui organizar uma síntese do que você encontrou, né, de desafio, de problema e como você agiu para solucionar. Vou falar aqui para Vitor. Hi, Vitor, I try translate for you now. The problems.
O desafio que ainda vou encontrar, né, é a questão da prática escolar, né? A prática escolar que a gente tem aqui, apesar de estar na Constituição estadual de 1989, que teria que ter ensino sobre a cultura potiguar nas escolas, isso não é uma prática, não existe isso. Isso nunca foi feito, né? Tá começando a se vislumbrar a partir desse tipo de pesquisa que está começando aqui a ter no Rio Grande do Norte.
Ok, Beethoven, deixa eu só agora tentar falar um pouco para Vitor, ok?
Liga o seu microfone.
The problem first, Vitor, was federal law on the laws of the state to heritage.
I see. Well, but the problem is that when you do this action research, it will not make any improvement in the federal law, right? So that's why I'm suggesting maybe to define it, the problem should be defined in a more practical way, what teachers can solve, so that in the end of the project, there's some suggested solutions for the problem that we see. So for the law, it's not something that a teacher can change. So that's how I'm seeing. Maybe I misunderstood something. But other than that, I think it's very important to identify a problem that after the research project, the action research, there is some suggestions on how to improve.
Ele quis dizer, Vitor, porque assim os próprios professores podem dar essas soluções, né, para esses problemas legais que você encontrou. Ele disse que o problema que ele vê, porque assim a lei não é uma coisa que o professor pode alterar, né, mudar.
Então, porque existe a lei, por sinal, tem uma lei do patrimônio vivo aqui de 2022, que é uma das leis mais completas sobre cultura popular do Brasil, mas simplesmente não é aplicada, entendeu? Em lugar nenhum. O desafio realmente é a distância entre a escola e a comunidade onde estão alocadas esses movimentos culturais, né? O que coloca em risco a invisibilidade das memórias e da ancestralidade em si, né? Por conta da questão da mídia e outras coisas, né? O que o Estado teria que fazer realmente era colocar a lei para funcionar, né? Ajuda bastante. Mas, se o Estado não faz, a gente procura fazer.
Ok, Beethoven?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, English.
That's all right. You just need to practice more.
Valeu.
Mas assim, Beethoven, ele falou assim que você precisa definir bem, certo, o problema de pesquisa e tentar destravar esses entraves legais, né? Porque no campo eles não vão poder resolver para você.
Eu não entendi a última frase.
Eu faço o seguinte, eu anotei aqui e aí eu mando para você pessoalmente, para não atrasar muito aqui as outras apresentações, ok? Valeu, Beto. Let me see this next paper. Teresa Feitosa.
Olá, boa noite.
Good evening.
Já é para iniciar? Não entendi.
Teresa, você pode colocar o slide?
Posso sim.
E aí você pode iniciar.
Todo mundo consegue ver? Everyone can see
Yes, sim.
the paper? Ok. Tudo certo? Posso começar?
Yes, sim.
Vou colocar o cronômetro aqui.
Okay.
So, good evening. It's truly a pleasure to be here, and I would like to begin by thanking Professor Dr. Vitor Fang for being here today, and especially Professor Mario André for his generosity and for inviting me to take part of this colloquium. My name is Teresa Feitosa, and I'm a trumpet player, teacher, and researcher from the state of Ceará, currently living in João Pessoa, Paraíba, where I'm doing my PhD in ethnomusicology. Since my undergraduate studies, I've been building a research way centered on women musicians, and I have explored about performance and strategies of family trumpet players and feminist pedagogies, and now I continue to deepen this way in my doctoral research, where I have my advisor, Doutora Euridice Souza Santos, and in the Federal University of Paraíba. The title of my proposal is Feminine Expressivity in Popular Music from Cariri, Ceará, an empirical construct with women instrumentalists. So, what drives this research? The central questions I ask is how can we think about the expressivity of women instrumentalists from the Caribbean region as an empirical construct? But to define these questions, I need to share where it comes from. This research problem seeks to understand not only how feminine expressivity is manifested in the context of popular music, but also how it's shaped by gender dynamics. In other words, how identity, body, culture, and music intertwine. This theme, in fact, emerged from a very personal place. As a woman, an artist, and a family trumpet player from Ceará, I've always been curious about how expressivity is constructed, not just technically, but emotionally and politically, throughout the journey of women musicians. My musical education has always gone beyond technique. For me, making music has also meant resistance, identity, and political expression. Therefore, building and empirical foundations for this research allow us to not theorize feminine expressivity, but also to contribute actively to the fields of ethnomusicology, musical psychology, and gender studies. And because the research questions is rooted in my own artistic reality, this proposal becomes a dialogue between theory and practice, between experience and reflection, generating not only academic relevance, but also real social impact. And here we have a quote by Perigato, 2014, that reminds us that expressivity is not only a closet concept, instead is a multifaceted phenomenon that demands a diversity of theoretical and methodological approaches. If in this research I approach expressivity as a dynamic and layered construction that unfolds across different disciplinary fields. More specifically, my project engaged with performance studies to analyze how expressivity is constructed through bodily gesture, musical phrasings, stage presence, and emotional intention. Ethnomusicology to contextualize expressivity within the musical culture and local traditions of the Caribbean region, considering how collective memory, territory, and oral transmission shape artistic expressions. And also social studies to explore expressivity as a response to social context, including genders, inequalities, systems, inviabilities, and historical silence. Gender studies to questions how gender experience influence music expressivity, drawing on feminist and queer theories, especially the Butler concept of performativity, where gender is enacted and rated in practice. And the last one, music psychology, to investigate how cognition, memory, motivation, and emotion influence musical performance in an artist's intention. Here we see my general objectives and also my specific objectives. And my general from this perspective is to investigate feminine expressivity in popular music from Cariri, Ceará, as an empirical construct. In order to do so, outline the specific objectives. The first, I'm going to try to make the role of women instrumentalists in the popular music scene of the Caribbean region. The second one, to explore how the expressivity is constructed through performance, identity, and regional culture. And the last one, to propose an interpretative model for this empirical construct of expressivity. So now let me to briefly expand on the region where this research takes place. That is my place. The Caribbean region, affectionately known as the oasis of Sertão, is one of the richest cultural zones. Oasis of the Sertão is like a cute call, and in the Brazilian Northeast. It's made by ancestral heritage, religion, syncretism, popular festivities, oral traditions, and a strong presence of music, both traditional and contemporary. Each of its cities carries unique expressivity, either through cabaçal bands, reizado, benditos, or hybrid music forms that emerge from popular and academic encounters. As I mentioned before, this is not a place I research, it's where I come from. So my body is my field, my listening is my method, and my learning is also my data. This makes the research apply ethical, effective, and situated. So here we can see a lot of cities. It's 9 cities in the total. And then you have 3 biggest cities like Crato, Juazeiro, Barbalha. All the towns together forms like a metropolitan in the states. And then you have the smaller cities like Farias Brito, Cariri Sul, Missão Velha, Santana do Cariri, Nova Olinda, that is my town, Nova Olinda, and Jardim. Jardim, it's a little bit more across another state and the last city of the Ceará, cross Pernambuco, that is the another state. So here's my geographic and cultural context of my research. My methodology, regarding the methodology, is a qualitative study shaped by 5 works and multiple case analysis. I will conduct interviews, phonographic and audiovisual recordings, and ethnographic observations, seeking to trace expressive elements and the performance of women musicians from the region. Importantly, and I want to emphasize this, there is no pre-established numbers of participants, nor are strict territory delimitations. Let me explain. I didn't make a strict territory because we have the smaller cities that have a, a kind of musical movement that I will consider also, but we have the biggest cities that I told, Barbalha, Juazeiro, and Crato. The file will be shaped by encounter, availability, and resonance. It's an open, moving, and listening sensitive field. Furthermore, the psychology of music will guide the interpretation of expressive behaviors such as emotional regulations, affective memory, and expressed intentions. At the same time, the social dimensions will consider how gender, class, race, and territorial belonging shape performance and musical agents. With this research, I hope to generate academic, social, and effective impacts. So my expected contributions academically by proposing an analytical model of feminine expressivity grounded in lived experience, socially by giving a voice and visibility to women musicians from the Caribbean, and affectively by affirming that attentive listen, when done ethically and politically, can be a tool for care, for knowledge, and for transformation. To conclude, I thank you again for this opportunity to share a project that is my born for my territory, my body, and my artistic journey. Thank you so much. Here I have my reference, some authors, international authors, but I quote some Brazilians also. That's it. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, and congratulations for the nice proposal and for the presentation. I really appreciate that. It's a very worthy topic, and I am wondering, you said that you do field work, and you also do qualitative approach. And I'm wondering if you have looked into ethnography. Do you know what I'm talking about? Ethnography.
I know.
Yeah. So how is your study is or is not ethnography? Do you know? Do you have a clear idea about that?
Actually not, because I started my PhD now, so I have just 6 months, and then I'm changing so the methodology yet.
Yeah, I see. Well, given the topic and your position as a native of that area, I think it will be beneficial if you can consider ethnography as your approach, because ethnography is one kind of qualitative research, but it's also is related to field work, and the focus of ethnography is that you enter the field, and then you also gain the trust of the people, and people will tell you what information you need. And then sometimes some of these things can be very informal. It's almost like you are talking to a friend and your friend tell you that. It's not like so formal like an interview. Because when you are in the field, they treat you like you are one of them. So you don't need to say, oh, I'm interviewing you now and I'm recording. So it's less of a boundary. more like you're integrated into the field. You are part of the field. And then at the same time, you have to understand your position. You are an insider, but you are also trying to be an outsider. That means you observe like an outsider, so you remove your bias. You observe like you are from outside, you don't know anything about that. But at the same time, you are insider, you get the insights of someone inside. So it will be really beneficial if you can look into ethnography, the literature on ethnography, how to do field work and how to do participant observation, and how you enter the field, gaining trust and collecting data, and then in the end, you have to exit the field.
Actually, when I'm going to take my vacations, I live for 1 month with these women and girls, and I do a kind of, I don't know, I see the performance, and then we talk about it. It's not a formal interview, like just the interview.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what I mean. When we do field work in an ethnographic study, there's a less clear cut about when is the interview, when is not the interview. It's even just regular chatting can be your data.
okay.
And the things that you observe. So I think the one important element that you didn't mention in your proposal is your own journal, your own reflective journal. That is very important, because if you don't write journals, then you forget a lot of details. So let me just to make sure I get it right for you. Reflective journal. So that's what you need to do. So because of the informal qualities, so as soon as you have some, oh, that's something interesting or something important, may not be an interview, then you have to jot down in your notes, and then you reflect on it. You jot down what happened, what is being said, and what that means, and your interpretation of it, and some ideas you have in relation to what you see in the field. So that is in your reflective journal. That can be very insightful.
Okay.
Yeah, and then overall, I think that's a very good proposal.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Ok. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Vitor. Mário, foi o último trabalho. Eu posso fazer um encerramento aqui? Você quer fazer uma fala?
Jean, pode fazer o encerramento.
Ok. Ok, Vitor. Congratulations, to all students, the UFRN, né? Parabenizar todos os alunos aí da UFRN pela essa iniciativa, né? Thank you very much, Vitor, for his observations and contribution, and all students this night. I wish you all a good night. I hope tomorrow to see you, okay?
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And I enjoy learning about your projects.
Okay. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Parabéns, pessoal. Vocês são feras.